life is just Taco Bell. Hello, I am here to bring you one of the most groundbreaking thought experiments we will ever experience on this planet as a whole, as a collective brain, echo chamber mind. Okay, serious. Look, people, all foods are just the same 5 different ingredients. Yeah, I said it, okay? It's a flour, it's a vegetable or a fruit, maybe both. Shush, that's one. Okay, dairy, meat, and like some sort of saucy base. Think about it. German food, hamburger has a bun, lettuce or tomato, shredded cheese, beef, ketchup and mustard. Mexican food, tacos, that's a tortilla, lettuce, tomato, sliced cheese, maybe shredded cheese, whatever. Pork and hot sauce. Italian, pasta primavera is just pasta, basil, tomatoes, shaved cheese, chicken, and a creamy butter sauce. Indian food, biryani basmati rice, onions and tomatoes, chicken, and a spice base. I'm not really sure about the spices. I wish I knew more about it. It's delicious. Chinese food, beef and broccoli, my old favorite from when I was 12, you know? White rice, broccoli, beef, and a sauce. Life is just Taco Bell. Okay, I know what you're gonna say. You just brought up Chinese food and you only named 4 ingredients. Okay, well maybe we have to remove certain categories for certain cuisines. Like East Asians are more likely to be lactose intolerant. They didn't use their livestock for dairy production. So fine, we remove dairy. Okay, whatever. Like almost 40% of India's population is vegetarian. So okay, we can remove meat. But come on, you gotta admit I'm onto something. Because at their core, most cuisines around the world, they just share common elements that can be simplified into a few basic categories like grains, protein, vegetables, dairy, seasonings. This is why I believe all cuisines have more in common than it might seem. We've got these universal ingredients, okay? Staple ingredients that are used across cultures, like wheat and rice and corn, and chicken and beef and pork are pretty widely consumed. Sure, there's a lot of adaptation and there's fusions and, because cultures are interacting and they're exchanging ideas because of trade and migration and colonization. Yeah, their traditions evolve and adapt, but this is what's leading to these fusions and we think that they're so unique because, in that moment they are. But really, if we boil it all down, they're still making it with the same ingredients. It's one of the 5. It's some mixture of those 5 main things. I know that cuisines are also affected by seasonality and geography and that culinary techniques can make everything seem really, really different. And I understand that cultural exchange is really valuable, and interacting and exchanging these ideas, it's created so many different practices and ingredients. I understand all that. Yes, this outward appearance of cuisines can vary. Yes, I get that. It doesn't mean that they weren't built on a common foundation of ingredients, techniques, and that cultural exchange makes it look so different, but is it really? And I think if we recognize these shared elements, we would appreciate the interconnectedness of culinary traditions more. We would celebrate diversity of flavors and cuisines found around the world in a way that didn't feel so foreign. I'm going to be honest, the real reason I'm here is to continue my war against breakfast, the food, and the time. Okay, all right, good. I'm glad everybody remembers that I feel that way in this first time I've ever addressed it. Let's really think about the distinctions between breakfast, lunch, and dinner foods. To me, they're just social constructs. They're influenced by tradition, the same cultural norms and stuff we're talking about, and I think also convenience. This isn't really about the inherent nutritional differences. Personally, I think we need to review and rethink these categorizations. Consider the nutritional content. Certain foods are associated with specific meals for some reason. Steak is dinner, sandwiches are for lunch, cereals for breakfast, but there's really no inherent reason why these foods can't be enjoyed at any time of day. B for D is a thing, People love to have breakfast for dinner, and yet why is it even being called breakfast for dinner? You're eating it at dinner time? Doesn't that just make it dinner? I don't know. From a nutritional standpoint, it just seems like what matters most is the balance of macronutrients and micronutrients, not when they're consumed. And I understand there are cultural influences that have designated breakfast, lunch, and dinner times and dinner foods. And, it's all deeply rooted in these traditions we've got. I understand here in the West, breakfast foods are carb heavy and sweet, and lunch is more savory and substantial. But in other cultures like Japan, it's not uncommon to enjoy a traditional rice-based dish for breakfast. I think that if we could break free from these really rigid mealtime conventions, it could create more flexibility in the kitchen for all of us. If we open ourselves up to a world of culinary possibilities, we wouldn't have to worry about these limitations, like pancakes only come in the morning or salads are a lunchtime thing. We could just really embrace a more flexible approach to meal planning, and then we could probably end up experimenting with different flavors and ingredients in cuisines because we weren't so rooted in, sweet only comes at the beginning of the day or after dinner. Like, it's so strange. I understand that when I talk to people about this war I have against breakfast, breakfast, it can kind of make people feel like I'm attacking them personally. It is really ingrained in us, and it's become the common preference, the common lifestyle. But I do think that we actually should have a more unique dietary approach as individuals. Some people might actually need to eat less in the morning or not at all. Some people might crave a heartier meal at lunch instead of dinner. And I think we need to deconstruct these ideas of breakfast, lunch, and dinner in these vacuums. And in doing that, we might actually be able to empower people to make choices that are based more on their own needs and their own backgrounds rather than what they think they're supposed to do or what's more routinely available. I really believe that the rigidity that we hold, especially with the idea of breakfast foods being usually either specific savory foods or mostly sweet foods, mostly grains, like in holding this rigidity with breakfast, it kind of holds lunch and dinner to the same rigidity. And it stops us from being able to continue and expand this culinary fusion that has been going on for so long. I think that culinary boundaries need to continue to be blurred. There's something about reshaping our perceptions of traditional mealtime norms that I really believe will lead to new flavor combinations, new dining experiences, and it's time that we embrace the diversity that could be encouraged in that way by changing the times and moments in which we're allowed to eat certain things. Ultimately, I think the notion of breakfast, lunch, and dinner food is just a product of cultural tradition and convenience, and maybe even a little bit of corporate planning. Okay, so let's challenge these conventions. Let's embrace a more flexible approach. Let's start to think about food as these few foundational things that we choose to combine and recognize that our grocery stores are basically just giant Taco Bell kitchens. When you walk into a Taco Bell kitchen, you could go in and create a whole new thing like a cheesy chalupa crunch or a crunch wrap supreme just by mixing certain ingredients together. It's innovative and it's absolutely delightful. Why can't I do that in my kitchen? Do you know how much sooner the McGriddle would have been created if people knew they were allowed to mix foods and make a breakfast sandwich? And I just think that things would be so different now. And I really wish people would just accept the fact that life is Taco Bell. That's rant over, whatever. You guys don't get it. It's fine. No one gets me. And I'm the only person who thinks about these things. And sometimes I feel so alone in this world knowing that life is Taco Bell and knowing that you don't know that. I'm so sorry for you. I really am. I hope that eventually you start to recognize that I'm right and I know things that you don't know. And that is beautiful. My brain is beautiful. And that it's the most beautiful brain on the planet. At one point, it'll click for you. I know it will. Because I know everything. And I know that I'm right about everything that ever was. Well, enough is enough. I've graced you with my presence. You are now satisfied. I am now sad. Sounds like the usual. Okay. Great. You're going to click subscribe, right? Oh, you're not because you've left. Everyone leaves. Everyone leaves me without clicking the like button. And it's so sad. If only one person would... Oh, did you? I didn't even have to say it. You just knew. I love you so much. Okay. You're still, okay. I'm actually going to go for real because bye. Okay. It's going to be abrupt. It's going to be like, okay, bye.